Hello everyone, welcome to the lesson on AI and natural language processing. What is natural language processing? Natural language processing, also known as NLP, is basically a part of computer science, human language, and artificial intelligence. If we break the word natural language processing, we understand that it is the processing of natural language. What is natural language? Natural language is not any type of language, but it is all the languages that the humans speak. And when we are saying natural language processing, that would mean that we are trying to process the language spoken by human. There can be a computer language and there can be a natural language. So natural language is the language spoken by humans. So it is a technology. So when we say natural language processing, it is a technology that will be used by the machines to understand, analyze, manipulate, and interpret the human languages. It helps the developer to organize the knowledge by performing the tasks such as translation, automatic summarization, named entity recognition, speech recognition, relationship extraction, or the topic segmentation. There are two basic components of NLP. One is the natural language understanding, and the other one is natural language generation. Now, whenever we are trying to search something, we are writing something, isn't it? And therefore, that is from humans to the computers. So over here, it is a task of the computer to understand the natural language. So the natural language understanding component comes into picture over here, which will be helping the machine to understand and analyze the human language by extracting the metadata such as the concepts, entities, keywords, emotion, relation, and the semantic classes. Then you have the natural language generation. That means once the computer has analyzed everything and now it wants to give the answer back to the human, in that case, it would be acting as a translator that would be converting the computerized data into the natural language. So it mainly, in this case, it mainly involves the text planning, the sentence planning, and the textualization. If we see natural language understanding, that means the NLU is much more difficult to implement than the NLG, because over here it is a human language that is being processed and being tried to understood by the computer. What are the applications? Natural language processing is very extensively used in question answering, in spam detection, in sentiment analysis, machine translation, spelling correction, speech recognition, chatbots. So all of these examples are something which we see day in and day out. Machine translation, if you want to convert from one language to another, how is it happening? It's not just one language to another. Say, for example, English to French. It is from English. First of all, the computer is understanding it, and then once it understands, then it generates the other one. So it is basically a three-way process that we see. Then we have the sentimental analysis or the opinion mining that we see, the question answering, the spelling correction, the speech recognition. All of these are the examples that we see very often. Now let us try to understand what is the NLP pipeline. It all starts with the first process of sentence segmentation. So whatever is the content that is being provided to the system over there, it is first divided or broken into paragraphs, and those paragraphs are broken into separate sentences. Then the second step is word tokenization, wherein each sentence is broken down into words, separate words, or the tokens. After that happens, then the third step is stemming. Stemming is a step which is used to normalize the word forms. Say, for example, you have three words: celebrate, celebrated, celebrates. So all of these three words have a single word, have a single form, root form, which is celebrate. So in the process of stemming, it is used to normalize all the different word forms that are present in that particular system. Now, sometimes it so happens that when you're trying to do the stemming, in that case, it produces a word which is not very much, which does not make much sense in English. And therefore, for all of those words, we have the process of lemmatization, which is similar to stemming, which would be again normalizing the word. But over in this particular case, it is used to group the different inflected words if they do not have a common meaning. So they are used to group the different inflected words, which is called as a lemma. Then we have to identify the stop words. What are the stop words? Is all of these words are the stop words, so it has to identify the stop words. Then comes the step of dependency parsing. What is dependency parsing? In this case, we are trying to see the dependence of all the different words in a particular sentence. How exactly are they dependent on each other? Then we have POS tags. POS tags means the parts of speech tag. So it is basically used to identify the part of speech. Say for example, Google something. Now Google I know is a noun. However, over here when I say Google something, that means I'm trying to use that word as a verb. So that is the POS tag. That means it tracks each of the words, whether it depending on the parts of speech that it is. Then is the named entity recognition, or NER, wherein it is the process of detecting the entity such as a person name, a movie name, or an organization name, etc. At last comes the step of chunking, wherein it is used to collect the individual pieces of information, whatever we have done before, and grouping them into the bigger pieces of sentence. So this is basically the NLP pipeline. Now let us look at the phases of NLP. There are basic 5 phases of NLP. It starts with the lexical analysis, followed by syntactic, semantic, discourse analysis, and at last the pragmatic analysis. What happens in the lexical analysis? It breaks the paragraphs into sentences and words. And then in the syntactic analysis, it basically checks the syntax. Then comes the semantic analysis, wherein it looks or focuses on each of the different words and its meaning, the actual meaning of the particular word. In discourse analysis, it checks the particular sentence, what is preceding it, what is following it. It checks the meaning in that particular sense. And at last, in the pragmatic analysis, what we find is, in the pragmatic analysis, we are giving particular meanings to a particular sentence. Say for example, if we are having a sentence saying open the door, now it has to be taken as a request and not as an order. So then over here in the pragmatic analysis, rules have to be formed so that it takes the sentences in a more cooperative way. Thank you.